All right. Now let's look at this subtopic here. In our previous lesson, we looked at relative percentage errors, absolute errors. But today we are going to look at how we can express percentage of given quantities. So in a question, you may be given a quantity and a percentage, and you will be asked to express that percentage of that given quantity. That's what we are going to look at. Very simple. So when you get such questions, very basic, this one you don't need to waste time on that. So let's quickly look at how we can express such percentages of quantities. Now, whenever the question is given to you, whenever you are asked to express a given percentage, so let's say you have been given, uh, let's say, M percent. You have been given M percent, and also you are given, let's say, P quantity. So let's say P quantity. So good. So in a question, you are asked to express this M percent of the P quantity. All that you need to do is just express the given percentage as fraction. Just express it as fraction and multiply by whatever quantity is given to you. So when we say quantity, quantity can be given to you in currencies, it can be given to you in items, maybe number of books, number of or maybe apples, whatever at all. All right, good. So when you are giving such example, all that you do is you just express whatever percentage as fraction. So what I will do, I will just express the M percent as fraction. And remember in our previous lesson, what we did when you are giving something like this, it can also be expressed as this. Then you just multiply by the quantity given to you. What is the quantity? That is P. That will give you whatever you get will give you your answer. So we will not waste time. We'll look at our first example. Now in question one, we are asked to find 25% of um 3,000 Ghana cedis. So all that we do is now our first example, will not waste time, just express 25%. Okay, so we say 25% of 3,000 Ghana cedis. All right, good. Now you know that when in mathematics, when we talk of, we mean by what? Multiply. So we are going to multiply. So all that we do is we change this 25% as fraction. So write 25 divided by 100, then off times the 3,000. All right. Since we have zeros here, we have zero here, we have zero here, so we can cross these zeros out, leaving this. Then we find our answer. So we are going to get 25 times 30, all divided by what? 1. And you know that any number divided by 1 gives us the same number. So we don't need to worry ourselves to write it. So what is 30 times 25? So we are going to get what do you call it? So we'll get 750 code. But because it is in what? Ghana cedis, so write our final answer as what? Ghana cedis. So that will be this. So this is very basic. All right, these things are very what? Basic. Okay, good. Now let's look at our second example. So in example 2, we are asked to, so the example 2 says, what is 50% of 750 apples? So the same here. The same here. Just find fraction of 50. So we have 50 divided by 100 times 700 and what? 50. All right, good. So since we have zeros here, you can cross this here. We have another zero here, you can cross this here. Then we have 5 times what? 75. All right. So what is 5 times 75? Good. So 5 times 75 gives us what? 375. Then we are getting what? Apples, because we are asked to express that as 750 apples. Great. So this is very basic. All right. Good. Now let's look at the third example. So for the first two examples, very basic, very simple. Let's look at the third one. Now looking at the third one, it says that if two whole number have percent of m books is 20, find m. So this one too is very basic. Now this one, looking at the first two example, you see that we are asked to find 25% of what? 3,000 Ghana cedis, and also 50% of 750. Now this time we are saying that what? Two whole number half percent of what? Of what? M. M books, so we don't know M. And the answer is what? 20. It means if we find two whole number half percent of the M books, we are going to get what? 20. So we follow the same basic principle. Okay. So what we are going to do is what? So example 3, it is two whole number half percent of M, which should give us what? 20. So this is what it means. So we are going to look for M. But before that, we need to change this. You know that this is what? Mixed fraction. So we are going to change to what? Improper fraction. Now, these ones, you know them already, so we will not waste time. You just multiply this by this and add 1 to it. So here we are going to get 5 on 2% times what? M, which is equal to 20, because we said off means what? Times. In the case of what? Percentages. All right, great. So how do we do this? We say that whatever percentage you are given, change it to fraction. So we know that this is what? 5 on 2, all divided by 100, because it is percentage, times M is equal to 20. Great. Now, you see that this is also fraction again. So I can work this out. If I should express this, then I'm going to get 5 divided by 200 times M, which is equal to 20. All right, great, good. So now the 200 I'm getting here, that is what? Changing this fraction. Okay, we know that there's 1 here. Now let me do it here, so that some of you, how I got the 5 on 200, because some of you might have forgotten how we do it. So this is 5 on 2, which is divided by 100. We know that in the basic fractions, when you have division and which involves what? Fraction, you just maintain the first fraction, and then this one, you know that is dividing what? 1. Okay, so if I'm changing it, then I will change this to multiplication, then I'll reciprocate this, so the 1 will come here, and then I'll have 100. So when you multiply, in the multiplication of fraction, you know that we multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator. So 5 times 1 gives me 5, and then 2 times 100 gives me what? 200. So that is how I got this. All right, good. Okay, let's move on. Now, once we have this, because we have this as fraction, which also involves what? Unknown number and equal sign, what we do is we find the LCM. So this is 200. What we do is we can multiply this. So we are getting 5m divided by 200 is equal to 20. Good, because we are going to multiply this by this. And after that, since we this 5m all divided by 200, we just find LCM and multiply through. So we can multiply through by what? 200, because this is what? Fraction and its denominator. So I will just multiply 200 throughout. This one, we are not doing what we call cross multiplication. We are not looking at that concept. Cross multiplication, people will say we do cross multiplication. No, the appropriate thing is that we find the LCM and multiply through. That is what we know, that doing cross multiplication is very easy, but let's do the the most appropriate what thing. Okay, it's not a matter of doing cross multiplication. It's all about what? Finding the LCM and multiply through by the LCM. All right, good. So that is how we do it. So it's not a matter of doing cross multiplication. So that this one will go, then I'll have my 5m, which is equal to, so 20 times, this is okay, this is 20. So 200 times 20 gives me what? 4,000. After that, you can divide both sides by 5. Good. So my m becomes what? So we have 800. Good. So that's it. So we were asked to find what? M books. Therefore, we have what? 800 books. This is very basic, very simple. So when you have such example, this is how you can go about it. Very basic. All right, good. So this brings us to the end of what? Finding percentage of quantities. Whenever you are asked to find percentage of quantities, these are the procedures or principles that you need to go through. Now, in our next lesson, we are going to look at how we can express um, one quantity as percentage of another quantity. Okay, this time you are not going to be given, in our next topic, you are not going to be given this percentage. You'll be given two quantities. For instance, we're given this as a quantity, and now we have gotten another quantity. So in our next previous lesson, you'll be given maybe this quantity and another quantity, and you'll be asked to express these two as this. You will be finding this. All right. Okay. So see you next time. Thank you.